Hey folks, James Jenkins here with the Propelio Academy. This is the insurance course. In this episode, we're going to be talking about landlord insurance fundamentals. And if you are a landlord, you're going to want to pay attention to this. If you want to be one, same. So let's just jump right in. Sources of risk on a landlord, a tenant-occupied property. What are they? The first is going to be premises liability. Again, this is just like the builder's risk policy, the renovation property from the last episode we talked about. You're going to have the potential for accidents and injuries that occur on your premises. You're also going to have tenant liability, and this is an added wrinkle from the builder's risk side of things because, let's be honest, tenants do dumb things. One of the things you're going to want to be very careful about is that you are making arrangements for the tenant liability that your property possesses. Property damage and loss, again, your property, your personal possessions on the premises, your appliances, your tools and equipment, those sorts of things are subject to potential damage and loss. Another one is going to be vendor liability. If you have any third party, maintenance, repairs, any sort of services that you have that regularly come onto your property, those present a liability we have to make arrangements for. So what are some essential coverages of landlord policies? The first is going to be premises liability coverage because you may not be thinking of the liability thing as more dangerous than property. You probably think, well, this is my asset. I want to make sure my property is protected. The likelihood of loss is actually a lot higher with a liability claim because there are so many different things that can result in a premises liability claim. Accidents, injuries, and things that your tenants are responsible for that they did where you get drawn into their lawsuit, which we'll talk about here in just a second. You want to make very sure, and I know a lot of you are going to resist this, you're going to have pushback. You say, well, my tenants don't want to do that, and I don't have it in my agreement right now. I don't require them to carry renter's insurance. Here's why that's a bad idea. If your tenant does not have renter's insurance, if they have not listed you as an additional insured party on that renter's insurance policy, and hypothetically, let's say one of the tenant's friends comes over and has an incident. They injure themselves and they go to the hospital. Through no fault of your own, you have now been drawn into a probable lawsuit because of something your tenant did. You didn't make any mistakes at all. Your tenant made the mistake and their friend was clumsy or whatever happened. The remedy for that is always require your tenants to carry a renter's insurance policy and list you as an additional insured party. That way, when something bad happens on the premises, it is your tenant's responsibility and not yours. Property insurance to the point where you have been indemnified. Indemnify is a fancy insurance word for made whole as you were before the loss happened. We're going to cover the building, the property, the assets for exactly what it takes to make you whole. You also want to engage in good contractual risk transfer for all of your vendors, your subcontractors, your service providers, your maintenance, your property managers, anyone who is involved in the property. You're going to want to be making sure that the insurance policies are in place, that you have good written contracts, that the provisions are what they need to be, as we've talked about in other videos. Your additional insured, your waiver of subrogation, your hold harmless agreement, exculpatory clauses, to use a real legal word there. I am not an attorney. Please consult your attorney if you want to talk about contractual risk transfer strategies. So, questions pertaining to landlord tenant-occupied policies. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We obviously don't have time to cover all of the questions here in this video. We wanted to keep it short and sweet. You can visit us at jjairm.com/consultation. That is my website. Now, that's not the Propelio site. If you go there, you can schedule a no-cost, no sales pitch consultation with yours truly. Be happy to answer all of your questions and provide whatever value I am capable of. That's all for this episode. Episode 3 is in the books, folks. This is the Propelio Academy Insurance course. Thanks for watching.